sorry. I'm sorry. I thought I would stop laughing because I've been laughing now for some time. But I want to tell you guys a story about a time when I had severe imposter syndrome. And then there were these people like that were making it like worse. Of course, without knowing, they didn't know. Now, as you guys already know by now, I'm in the film industry. I work as a screenwriter. And I'm just going to go on a slight tangent here. Please bear with me. But one of the reasons why I started YouTube in the first place is because I want visibility as a screenwriter. I mean, guys, if I asked you guys to give me examples of screenwriters you know about, you would probably, besides me, of course, for those of you that know me, you would probably give less than, like on one hand, I think less than even the 5 fingers that are here. But if I asked you to name movie directors you've maybe seen in a film or whatever, even if you're not a film cinephile or a film fanatic, you probably name like one or two. James Cameron, for example. You can name Daniel Villeneuve, Christopher Nolan, Tarantino. Because you see, on movies, those are the people who are like praised, right? And you see, in Uganda, you cannot just be a screenwriter. You have to be a producer, screenwriter, not even screenwriter, writer. You have to be director. You have to be CG actor, actress. Like, you have to have all these titles just for you to hold some weight in the film industry. But now for me, as me, guys, this is going to make sense. Please bear with me. I just want to be a screenwriter. I want to be focused and grounded. I don't want to just be someone who is everywhere all at once. It's not going to make sense for me. That's why I came up with YouTube, and where I share my stories and people can be like, okay, what? So my target here is to grow an audience, number one, that I can connect with easily. I can talk to, like I can come and jazz. And number two, so that like the reason why I want to grow that audience, first of all, before I go to number two, is in case like I have like say a movie coming out and you guys are like, oh, okay, so she's a screenwriter. We know she's a good storyteller or not, but we know she's a good storyteller because we subscribe to her channel. And number two, I want to use this like audience on like say my social media platforms as an unfair advantage when I'm pitching a film, right? Because oftentimes in like the film industry, in an organized film industry, let me put it that way, it's often screenwriters that pitch their own projects, not the producers, not the directors. It's oftentimes the screenwriters. It's just that when you say, I'm going to produce with so and so, or this is going to direct the film or TV series, that's when like the funders or the investors like are like, oh, cool. So this is someone that can invest in. But me, I want to, because almost every screenwriter is either a director or producer or what. And they probably have all those accolades, like those titles to go along with. But me, I want to be like, yeah, I'm going to work with so and so, because film is a collaborative, collaborative art and art form. And I want to say, I want to work with this producer and this director, and they're like, ooh, okay, so we hear some says, and then I'm like, yeah, and to top all that off, I already have an audience, so like invest. So that's my whole point. So when you watch these videos, like subscribe. Support your girl, like, share, comment. I see people sending me comments in my WhatsApp. Those who have my WhatsApp, some on my Instagram, those who have my Instagram. And I'm like, why are you denying the rights? Like, guys, I even have, if you check on all my videos, at least the larger number of them, if you check on most of my videos, I had to create accounts to comment on them. If I had to reach there, guys. So because even if you just say hi, Chloe, or send one emoji, like just one, you don't even have to send 20, whatever. Or if you just say, hey, Chloe, follow me or whatever. I don't know if I'll follow, but maybe I will. I mean, you never know until you comment, right? So when you see these videos, even if you don't share to your WhatsApp status or your Instagram or wherever, just copy link, like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. That would help me a lot. Anyway, back to what I was talking about. So you see, working in art, in the film industry, another the downside that comes with it is things like imposter syndrome, where you think, oh, I don't deserve to be here because I haven't yet done good enough art or whatever. I don't know. I think I will have a video that talks at length what imposter syndrome is if you do not know. But in brief, it is thinking you do not deserve a certain level of achievement, an accolade or whatever. For a variety of reasons, right? Now, there was a time I was suffering with imposter syndrome because a relative of mine told me I'm wasting my time in this industry. I'm going to be betrayed by the industry. So I was suffering with like the whole thing of, by the way, what if I don't deserve to be in this industry? What if this award that I won at a very young age, guys, was a fluke? Like I started to have that self-doubt, the anxiety was creeping in. Now, one time I had to go for work. We had to travel to Chisoro for work to shoot the reality show that's coming out on July 10th. Guys, mark your calendars. July 10th, please. July 10th. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Anyway, we had to go to Chisoro to shoot that reality TV show that's coming out. It's going to be on NBS, starting the 10th of July, every Thursday from the 10th of July on NTV, 10 p.m. So mark your calendars and tune in. Show your girls some support. I need the visibility. Anywho, yeah, so back to my point. Yeah, so we're shooting. But then there's this one person as whatever I'm working with that kept telling me the reason you were chosen to win in Opportunities Are Here season 1 was because, first of all, you seemed like a girl who is depressed, who is what? So that's why we chose you. Me and the judges, this is why we chose you. You look depressed, that's why we took pity on you. Now, at first, he was joking. So I was like, oh, cool. Because he was part of the people that, like, judged and forwarded like my name forward during the judging whatever stuff and all these other things. He was part of that panel of judges. So when he kept like saying these things, at first he said it, I thought it was a joke. Second time he said it, but you guys, they say first is a mistake, once is a mistake, twice is a coincidence, and 3 times is a pattern. So when he said it once, twice, thrice, I just knew this guy might have been like for real this time. I mean, he was even like, oftentimes he was drinking when he would tell me these things. But you see, you guys, the thing is, drunk thoughts are sober what? Drunk words are sober thoughts. Like, that's what you think when you're sober, you're just afraid of saying it. So when I noticed I was saying, he was really like repeating it. And mind you guys, we went to sorrow for 3 days. So in a span of 3 days, he had told me that thing over and over again. Like every day he would remind me. Now, when he said it more than 3 times, I realized he was not joking. The guy was actually serious. You guys, I got a severe case of imposter syndrome. I started to doubt myself. I stopped doing a lot of the things that I was doing. Like, I had this plan of every time I watch a film, I rewrite it. And then I search up the script and go through the script and see like how the script was written, what I can learn from it, what. And I shared it with a mentor of mine. She asked me, hey, Chloe, what are you doing? What are you up to? I told her, you guys, the way the woman trashed me. And then she also added on to that voice of, we only chose you because you look depressed. What? What? But you guys, the way that thing, it really put me down. I stopped even, like, I love film, you guys. But I stopped, like, falling in love with it. I was still in love with it, but I stopped falling in love with the craft. I was like, Jesus Christ. What has become of me? You guys, there were times it was so hard to get out of bed because I was like, what am I even doing on earth? The relative who told me I don't deserve to be here, my mom was probably right. Like, I let all that shit get to my head. Until recently. Of course, recently I realized that not everything everyone says about you is true. Is always true. Let me say, not everything people say about you is always true. I should know. I live in a family where certain times people will just come out and tell you, oh, you're this, you're that, and it's never good. So, so yeah, that is what that was like for me. So, I think at the beginning of the year, I decided I'm not going to let people hold me back. I'm going to go forward. Actually, when I started YouTube, guys, I was dying with imposter syndrome. It was killing me. You guys, it was depressing me every day. I was like, what if I post and people don't watch? What if I get only 2 views? What? Yeah, and those things were like really disturbing me. But then at some point I was like, 2 views? Who cares? One time I watched a video by iShowSpeed. He's a popular streamer if you do not know him. But you can quickly search him and you'll see what I'm talking about. But chances are you probably know that guy. Now, I think what broke me out of that cycle is that one time he decided, I'm going to start streaming. And his mother had always told him, no, it's never going to work out and all that stuff. I think that's what I remember from the video, but I remember his mom was answering that. And then his mom told him, yeah, it's never going to work out. You're probably going to fail. Sorry, guys, my hair is disorganized. But yeah, I was saying he's probably going to fail. And then he started streaming, and then he saw one person appear, and he was so grateful. He was like, it's okay, I have this one person, let me push for two, let me push for. And you see, it was like those few numbers that kept him going. I was like, by the way, let me stop being in my head all the time and just do this thing. So I just started doing YouTube like nervous. By the way, guys, there's not a time when I sit in front of this camera and I'm not nervous, but I was always nervous. But I said, let me do it. I kept pushing. I said, let me continue pushing. Let me continue posting. When I get few views, 2, 5, 3, I don't really care. I'm just going to do it. So in fact, I even stopped editing because the editing had kind of like, there are some videos I think you guys have seen where I edit. But then there are times where I'm like, you know what, let's just post today. Let's just talk to these people today. No edits, no nothing. So I started doing that. Now, of course, as I've continued doing this YouTube thing, although I'm just like a few videos in that I'm really proud of, I kind of now am getting better at how I feel about storytelling and content creation. Doing YouTube videos has really helped me because now I'm getting back to the former me who wanted so badly to be in the film industry that I would do anything to be here. Now, today, we were in a meeting, work meeting, and one of the people who chose me to be in the Opportunities Are Here program and all these other things, today she told me that, Chloe, you have a unique way of telling stories that's just authentically you. I mean, I think she has also seen my YouTube, which I'm really thankful for. And just like, you have a unique way of telling stories. And you see, what drew me to you is the fact that in your application video, because, for Opportunities Are Here, we had to do an application video. I think I'll link it in the description below. You guys can see it. But she told me your application video was unique. It was like really good. You seem to be good at what you're doing. So keep doing that. Like, you're good. That's why we chose you. And then I was like, wait, what? So all this time, these people have been telling me lies. The only reason they chose me was because I looked depressed. I looked like someone they could pity. I was like, oh, so I actually got that accolade on my own merit. Now, why am I telling you guys this story? Is that, guys, there will always be people who will view you in a certain kind of light, and they will make it a point to remind you that you are nothing, that you are. But my mentor once told me that when someone comes to when someone starts to view in that light, it's because they feel threatened by you. People will always tell you this. Certain times they'll tell you what you're not worth it, you're not what. But there are people who will always tell you worth it, that you go on, girl, you're doing good. Because when I started YouTube, I was really scared. But then I would get like positive comments where people are like, Chloe, the consistency is good, even though I didn't feel like I was consistent. Told me, Chloe, the videos are good, like the stories are nice, keep them coming. We're going to keep watching and watching. And you see, it wasn't like 1,000 people telling me this, as we already know. But it's a good number of people, a handful, but it keeps me going. And today, when my boss told me that today, she was like, Chloe, you have a unique way of whatever. I was like, so I wasn't chosen because of what I am. I was chosen because of who I am. So not everything people tell you about you is true. This is why I encourage you people. This is why I do these videos. Because if it wasn't for embarking on this journey of self-discovery, I would have never known certain things about myself. Knowing yourself, being self-aware is a good thing. Don't be narcissistic. Be self-aware. Be confident in who you are and what you can achieve. Because people are going to come and put you down. And if you let those people put you down, 9 times out of 10, they probably will. But you need to strive for the one time they will never put you down and stand on your 10 toes and go forward. I love you guys. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please don't forget, if you haven't subscribed, to subscribe. Like this video, copy link, maybe leave a comment, say hi, Chloe, thank you for the story, thank you for sharing, say something. I will be really grateful. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Ciao, Bella. Bye.